1974 UNESCO Symposium in Cairo. 1974 was a very special year in the field of Egyptology. This man was a Senegalese historian, anthropologist, physicist, and politician who studied the human race's origins and pre-colonial African culture. His name was Cheikh Anta Diop. During an event called the Cairo Symposium, alongside Théophile Obenga, another African scholar, he challenged the mainstream about the origins of the ancient Egyptian civilization. Their main theory was that ancient Egypt was an indigenous African civilization created by black people from Africa, and that foreigners came later from Asia and Europe and got Egyptianized or simply replaced the indigenous people. In other words, Egypt was already created prior to the arrival of all other non-African groups. With 18 other participants, they debated about the peopling of ancient Egypt and won. Yes, they won the debate, but it has been ignored by the mainstream. It was a major event because for the first time, Africans were questioning the mainstream about the world's perception of ancient African history. It led to a huge awakening all over the African continent that still impacts us today. Cheikh Anta Diop was what we can call a multi-genius. As stated earlier, he was historian, anthropologist, physicist, and politician. In 1946, at the age of 23, Diop went to Paris to study. He initially enrolled to study higher mathematics, but then enrolled to study philosophy in the Faculty of Arts of the University of Paris. He gained his first degree, license, in philosophy in 1948, then enrolled in the Faculty of Sciences, receiving 2 diplomas in chemistry in 1950. In 1953, he first met Frédéric Joliot-Curie, Marie Curie's son-in-law, and in 1957 Diop began specializing in nuclear physics at the Laboratory of Nuclear Chemistry of the Collège de France, which Frédéric Joliot-Curie ran until his death in 1958, and the Institut Pierre and Marie Curie in Paris. Diop even translated parts of Einstein's theory of relativity into his native Wolof. According to Diop's own account, his education in Paris included history, Egyptology, physics, linguistics, anthropology, economics, and sociology. In Paris, Diop studied under André Aimard, professor of history and later dean of the Faculty of Letters at the University of Paris. Most people don't know it, but he had been trained by the greatest experts of his time like Gaston Bachelard and Frédéric Joliot-Curie, who was the 1935's Nobel Prize for Chemistry laureate and who was also the great Marie Curie's son-in-law. There was also André Leroy-Guérin and others. Like all great minds, Diop combined all these disciplines to get an overall understanding of world's history. He was described as one of the most profoundly revolutionary thinkers Francophone Africa had produced. He developed techniques that had never been used before to investigate and prove his point, like radiocarbon techniques that he used to assess the amount of melanin present in the skin of ancient Egyptian mummies. But despite all his efforts, the West refused to acknowledge the evidence. Today, his work and contribution has been recognized by numerous experts, but many still try to minimize it, calling him an Afrocentrist to discredit him. The main argument used to discredit him is a 3-letters word, DNA. To many people, the discovery of DNA was a game changer. It is perceived as the final solution to solve the Egyptian enigma. And based on what is spread by the mainstream, many say that his theories were false, but is it true? DNA. In 1869, a Swiss physician Friedrich Miescher stumbled upon a microscopic substance called nuclein in discovery